Hey guys, this is Mel, and I am back to talk about Supernatural episode 1415 titled Peace of Mind, which premiered Thursday, March 14, 2019 on the CW. I'm recording this roughly 4 hours after the episode has aired, so it is technically March 15th right now. So huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen. Take a moment to remind yourselves of the quick shout out on YouTube to Luther Faust. I hope I got your name right. Thank you so much for your comments and your just your conversation really in the previous video pertaining to Jack and what happened with Michael and stuff. It got me thinking for sure, and but also left with many what ifs if anything. So if you want to check that out, go check out the video and the thread that we created. So there's that. I'm gonna try to do this in 10 minutes. So let's start the clock. Let's begin what happened in this episode. Timeline wise, it's either shortly after the events of 1414, but there has to be enough time since then for the funerals to have taken place for the hunters that Michael killed in the bunker. Also, another indicator is the fact that Dean did comment on the fact that they just finished 3 back-to-back cases. I don't know if that is including the Gorgon case at all, or how long exactly it takes for them to do a case, if it's only been a few days for each case and stuff, or maybe it's been 3 back-to-back cases in a week, maybe. I have no idea. But that's kind of the only indicator that he's given us. So there's that. Episode reminder, I will say, I kind of got like a Pleasantville, picture-perfect small town type of vibe. It kind of made me feel like I've traveled back in time somehow, and I thought maybe that was the case until Mr. Smith kept on trying to figure out, like, where have I heard the word cell phone before? So there is that. It kind of made me think like if you blink once, then you might be zapped into like that type of an era thing. But anyways, episode breakdown. There's 2 different ones going on. First one, we have the hunt in Charming Acres. The second being soul searching. Soul searching. So the first storyline deals with Sam and Castiel going to this Charming Acres, which kind of is like getting zapped back in time, essentially. But essentially, they find that anyone in town gets their mind altered to fit in this little picture-perfect world, except for Castiel because he's not human. And this is the doings of Mayor Chip Harrington and his daughter Sunny. Although the mayor is the one who's actually warping people's minds, and Sunny kind of is stuck playing along with it. They said they were psychics, but I'm not particularly sure exactly what the hell was going on. But I'll get back to that later. With the second storyline with soul searching, this one is Dean taking Jack to see Donatello, specifically to kind of talk to him about what it means to have a soul, try to gauge how much of Jack's soul is left after he burned a bunch of it off to kill Michael. Now, Jack admits to Donatello that he still feels something, like he doesn't know how, like he says, like, I don't know what nothing would feel like, but he still feels something. Yet he can't tell how much of his soul is left. I mean, he could tell, like, he still worries about, like, Sam, Dean, and Castiel, so at least there's that. But, like, he's definitely a little bit more he kind of reminded me of, like, when Castiel first joined up, and he was trying to figure out, like, look at and experience, human connections and interactions to try to like gauge like what exactly was going on. So it kind of reminded me like that when Castiel was at a point in time where he was just watching and he had no idea what things were doing or why they were being done. It's essentially what I'm trying to get at here. So there is that. And also we have many references to Jack's new pet snake Felix, and who isn't eating properly. And so he's trying to figure out why that's the case. So there's that. Last scene of the episode shows Castiel witnessing Jack using his powers to kill the snake so that he could reunite the snake with his former friend. And like he does it without a second thought. It's more like he's saying like people are saying that the snake is upset and that's why it's not eating. So I want to make you happy and I know you miss your friend. So it's kind of like boom. kill. At first, I thought he was going to resurrect his friend and then bring the trouble back, but instead he kills the snake instead. So it was just like, wow, that I wasn't expecting either. So there's that. Tidbit-wise, though, we do see Dean expressing his fear of snakes again, first seen in the Yellow Fever episode in season 4. And then we also see him expressing greatly his love for bacon and trying to put it in there. I am a little surprised, though, that pie was nowhere included in this episode for Dean, considering that the episode aired on International Pie Day, 3.14159, right? Anyways, so that was a little shocker there. That was a good opportunity, if anything, right? But anyways, also we get Sam telling Dean that he hates the bunker due to the constant reminders of all the hunters that have died there because of Michael. But he does admit that he can't keep running away from it all, and he has to deal with it. So there's that. And we also see Dean having a little snack test for Jack. He gives him a choice of either an angel's food cake or a devil's food cake. At first, he picks the devil's food cake, which has Dean silently freaking out, but then he tosses it and eats the angel food cake choice. They look like Twinkies, essentially. And then Dean's like sighing in relief. He's like, okay, he picked the angel one. It's like as if the food cake, it's like pretty much the angel food cake was vanilla looking and the devil's one was chocolate. What if he liked chocolate? It had nothing to do with it being angel or devil. I know it was a subconscious test too, but it was pretty funny that it was like Dean's way of doing the sleuthing, if you will. So there's that. And death tally. We saw the first death being Conrad, who had his brain explode in the gas station. Poor Griffin, the cashier there, who saw it. Then we get quote-unquote Justin Smith, the alias of the second guy, who ended up having his head explode on the street. And he was the one that's trying to figure out how he remembered the word cell phone. So there's that. Apparently he's from Houston, I think. But anyways. And then we also have Mayor Chip Harrington himself. He doesn't technically die, but his daughter forces him into a coma where he is trapped inside his mind, living out his happiness. So he's technically not dead, but now he's no longer an issue for anybody. So there's that. Moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I think would have to be the villain itself, just because I'm just still confused. Are they psychics or something? Was the mayor is psychic and with his daughter, or I don't know. If anything, it kind of reminded me of, I don't remember the episode. I'm even trying to look it up right now. But there's this one episode where there was an old hunter friend. He was a psychic, but then he kind of lost control of his memory. So anything around here was kind of warping to what he viewed, or so you'd have hearts pounding from your chest like the cartoons, and like that, and he was altering reality without realizing that he was doing it. I'll definitely put the episode title on screen because it's driving me nuts. I can't figure out which episode it's from, but I think it's season 7. I want to say it's season 7, early season 7 maybe. I have no idea. It'll be up on screen. But I'm wondering if they're psychics, if the father-daughter were psychics like that, or were they something else? It's I have no idea, and it's just shocking that it wasn't as clear cut to me, or maybe I missed it in the blink of an eye moment. Again, I'm only reviewing this after seeing the episode once. No going to YouTube to recheck clips or anything like that. So I'm kind of stumped, really. So there's that. Also, another shock is the fact that Jack killed the snake. I wasn't expecting it at all. I thought he was getting attached to the thing, and to the point that I was worried that the snake might actually be a supernatural snake of some kind or anything. So there's that. But moving on to top 3 favorite moments. First one, I will admit it did take some time trying to pinpoint specifically what I would deem as favorite. This episode was all right, but after the episode we had previously, it's I prefer that one. But anyways, I like the talk Jack had with Donatello. I missed some of it because I got a call from my parents when it was airing, and that usually has to take focus. But I like that that Jack was being brought into the conversation about what it is to have a soul. He's trying to get understanding of what it actually means to have a soul, and it was interesting. And they also got to the concept of Jack understands still understanding that it's certain doing the right thing is something that Sam and Dean would do. So Donatello was well, if you ever have any question about that, just think, what would the Winchesters do? Since for him, he does, what would Mr. Rogers do? And that really doesn't help Jack if he doesn't know who he is, right? So it was kind of references like that. I kind of wish that Jack would also speak about the soul with Dean and with Sam, because like Castiel did bring it up with Dean about how the fact that, well, you could help because you have experience dealing with someone without a soul. So with Sam, and know like what to look for, and kind of explain it to Castiel, and then kind of you can maybe go. I'll bring up Sam in a moment, but like he has all these different perspectives he can kind of go to. So I like that they still immediately went to the person who actually doesn't have a soul. So there's that. It would have been great for Jack to talk to someone who could explain what he sees as a difference between a person with a soul and a person without a soul, like with Donatello and with Jack. So there's that. Another favorite I had was Castiel hunting on his own. I mean, technically he was partnered up with Sam, but since Sam kind of became a part of the ploy itself, and he succumbed to the mayor's manipulations, Castiel was pretty much on his own trying to figure out what was going on and do the hunt himself. So I think that was a first for him that we actually got to see on screen. Otherwise, it's always mentioned off screen that he's doing a case by himself. So I thought that was a pretty good change up there. And another favorite I did have was Sam confiding in Dean about what he feels about the bunker and how he's dealing. There's a time and how he's dealing with all the hunters' friends that they've just lost because of Michael. He even made a point of the fact that there aren't as many hunters out there anymore, which is pretty depressing as well too. But I do like the fact that he actually managed to confess that to Dean instead of just brushing it under the rug or anything like that. So that's a favorite there. Moving on to top 3 peeve moments. I will have to say it, and I don't know if it's just me overthinking it, but I don't know if you realize, but there was no creature research of any kind in this episode. I mean, going into it, they thought it was a witch and a demon, but then afterwards, there was just no time to actually look up to see what they were dealing with, because once Castiel located Sam, he realized that, oh, something isn't right, and they just went straight to the only other person for answers, accusing her of being a witch, but there was no actual like research, no books or anything like that. So that, I think a peeve of mine is not only seeing that, because I do like the whole research and learning the different lores and the backgrounds and how they incorporate into this in the supernatural universe, but I'm a little peeved because I need that to know exactly what I'm dealing with. I mean, because I don't have that, I'm not confused as to what the hell the Harringtons were. Like, are they psychics? Were they witches? What the hell were they? So that's kind of where the peeve comes from me, because like I didn't get the research portion of the episode. I don't know what the hell I'm dealing with now, if that makes sense. Or maybe I missed it and I got too many distractions going on around me during the airing of the episode for me to pick it up. I don't know. But anyways, moving on to what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode. The fact that you pretty much step back in time with it is very daunting. I mean, they said many times, Sam and Castiel, that this is pretty weird. So I'll leave it at that. But moving on to random questions very quickly. If Jack is willing to kill a snake to reunite it with his friend, will that translate somehow to real life situations in cases where he might do the same thing just because it's might easier, or he might have less of a regard for human life or whatever they face. Like he wouldn't care for collateral damage. I'm wondering. I think that might be where the fear of it comes from, because now the line is very much blurred or gone for Jack with less of his soul intact. So I'm wondering if that's going to be an issue later on, or if that's what sets like alarm bells up in Castiel's head. So there's that. Second question. Shouldn't Sam be able to talk to Jack about being soulless, or what it would mean to have a soul, since he does now contain the memories of what he had done, not only without his soul, but also what his normal memories of with his soul would mean? Because if you remember, Season 6 ended with Castiel breaking the wall that Death had placed in Sam's head to keep Sam's memories of him being soulless out of his head. But that shattered and he had to deal with it in Season 7. So he was, until he merged in the Season 7 finale. No, he merged together in the Season 6 finale, where he had both the soulless memories as well as his previous memories. So with that all in place, I'm wondering why Sam wouldn't be a good, Like, why not have Sam talk to Jack about what it means to have a soul and not have a soul? Because then Sam would be able to tell you, like, oh, as this, I was doing all this stuff, or I wasn't doing this stuff first when I was this. Like, as you remember, soulless Sam, he didn't eat, he didn't sleep. He only did that stuff to play the role of him being his normal self, right? He didn't have any emotional attachments. He still had the memories of his former self, but he had no emotional connection to it. Like, he remembered Dean as his brother, but he had no brotherly love towards him. So it's like, if anything, like, if Sam would be able to explain that to Jack and relate to him that way, that would be some kind of inkling. Like, I'm waiting for that connection. I'm waiting for that conversation. I'm still waiting for the conversation between Dean and Jack to talk about it, because Dean also witnessed Sam being both soulless and with a soul. So it's like, I want that perspective talk right there. So there's that. So question was, are we ever going to get it? Predictions, though. Based off the promo for 1416, it looks like we're going to get twisted monsters roaming the woods. It also looks like Sam and Dean hunt in the woods for the creature itself, and apparently it's a new one we haven't faced. So, based off the synopsis for 1416, it reads that Sam and Dean are baffled when they come up against a monster they have never heard of before, and Jack does his best to impress a new group of friends. Now, apparently, based off the promotional photos, Jack's new friends are the three from Lebanon, Elliot, Max, and Stacy that we met in the 300 episode. So either the case that Sam and Dean are on does still take place in Lebanon, or Jack was left behind in Lebanon and they went to their wooded creature hunt. So that'll be exciting there. It'll also be interesting to see Jack interact with these teenagers, despite their first impressions. But I'm wondering how much he would express or share with them, since they are in on the supernatural know, or at least they know what the brothers do and such. So that'll be interesting there. But otherwise, guys, that is pretty much it. What'd you guys think of the episode? What'd you guys like about it? What do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear all that from you as well. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want to check out my Tumblr page, the link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all the good stuff all found in one place. Go check it out. I am behind, but I'm hoping to get caught up very soon. So be on the lookout for that. Also, WordPress account. Link for that is down below. I reblog, or no, I don't reblog. Shit. I'm sorry. It's past 1 a.m. for me right now. But WordPress account links up everything I post online to one place. It's more detailed. It's more organized. So if you want, you can go check that out as well. Otherwise, live journal entry. Link for that is down below to the page and any of the episodes I now refresh. It includes jot noted versions of the episode as I watch it for the first time, so you get in moment questions, reactions, thoughts. It keeps things organized for me. I hope it does for you as well, because I know it takes some time for transcripts to get online to actually view fully if you need that type of thing. But mine's up there as well. I'm a little behind for doing recent episodes, but I do mark them down. It's just me formatting and coloring them properly and adding the proper things in there. But once it's loaded, I hope you check it out. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week wherever you are. And I'm going to go to bed now. So, night, guys.